Welcome to Real Flix Reviews. This is a show that reviews everything from the movie Wizard of Oz to latest, greatest, craptastic movie like Mirror, Mirror with Julia Roberts. This week we have Jonathan Charney, James Stevens,
Hello.
And Ryan Black Love Preston. This week we saw the movie Buffalo 66, which is Ryan's pick for the week. And so, Ryan, what's this movie about?
Well, Buffalo 66, or as I like to call it, if I had a nickel for every time I had to take a piss and kidnapped a girl, I'd be a millionaire. This movie basically takes place all within just the kind of a split decision of this one character played by Vincent Gallo. And it just kind of takes a series of bad decisions on a bunch of left turns throughout, to kind of a insanely funny ending as far as I'm concerned. But as far as that just being the plot summary, I'd really like to hear what Johnny's got to think about this, because I know he hasn't seen this, and I'm anxious to hear his opinion.
Well, this is his first time seeing it, too.
I have to say that personally this is not my type of movie. I was expecting like a dark comedy, far as on the like Meet the Fockers or Meet the Parents.
Oh, that's
when
I warned you about that.
Well, yeah, when people say dark comedy, that's what I'm expecting. This is more on the levels of Natural Born Killers, I think, if you're going to go for a dark comedy type of thing.
Sort of, a little less sadistic.
Well, yeah. A different plot, but I think on the same edge of the being.
Or comedic. Yeah.
Overall, it was an okay movie. Not something I would go out of my way to see, but the contrast in it was what I thought was amazing. It was a very dark contrast movie,
and this movie was about as indie as it gets.
Yeah, and the other thing I noticed was Christina Ricci was bright white.
Yeah, she was like pale white.
Yeah. Which I thought was interesting. So everything had a dark tone, a very inky quality to it, and you see her, which she, you almost have
glows.
You almost have to dim down the TV just because she's so blaring white.
Yeah, that was one of the things.
I wonder if that was a weird lighting choice.
Yeah, that's kind of what it seemed to me. That I don't know if I think it was kind of artistic. He was trying to go for an artistic type of cinematography in the colors, the darkness of it, with the contrasting of the whiteness of Christina, and certain areas were brighter than others.
Well, I think she's I think Christina Ricci is a fairly white individual.
Yeah, she is. But
sure.
But I was finding the cinematography, the actual tones of the movie, somewhat annoying after a while.
I've always been a somewhat fan of the contrasts like that. I think in this movie it wasn't played off like other live action animes I've seen. You have the kind of Wild West-esque, the black hat and white hat. This one, everything just had that dark quality to it, which I actually kind of liked. Overall, I kind of like the surreal look to it.
Yeah,
I wasn't a big fan of that.
One of the things that really what I noticed was those dudes' shoes.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that stood out, was those bright red, he went to jail in those shoes and didn't get raped shoes.
Well, he just stole them off of Tom Hanks.
Seriously. The other thing that really interested me was there's only a couple of places that took place at. It was at his parents' house, a dance studio.
In front of the jail or prison.
Jail, Denny's, a strip club, and bowling alley. There's only a few areas in the whole movie.
Yeah.
And it takes place between sometime in the morning to 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It's just a short time period that they were filming this movie in. And the thing that kind of was a little bit interesting to me is the fact that, as Ryan said, I mean, the dude's bladder must have been the size of a mouse's bladder, for one.
He pissed every 5 minutes. I swear to God.
And then you pointed out a little while later that Christina Ricci only really tried to go to the bathroom like once throughout the movie, and that's when he kidnapped her. She was on her way to the bathroom. One of the things I kind of thought was interesting is the portrayal in the beginning of this movie when he gets out of prison of him trying to decide what he's going to do. I thought that was kind of an interesting thing because he gets out and he seemed a little lost. Like he was having a little bit of difficulty of trying to figure out what he wanted to do when he got into society again. He seemed like he was a little bit confused, which I think
he
is
might
kind
have
of
been trying to figure out how he was going to keep up with all the bullshit he was feeding to his parents.
Well, that too, but I mean, it seemed like he didn't really know where he wanted to go. I mean, he even tried to go back to the prison, and the guy's like, get out of here.
Yeah.
He's like, you can't come back.
He definitely fed his parents a line in this movie. I mean, if you
but it's definitely just a strangely conflicted character, just on pretty much every single decision that he makes throughout his day.
Yeah. The other thing I want to say is a guy who ends up editing the show every week is the thing I thought was weird is how they do that square pan in to the memories.
I kind of thought that was kind of nice little nostalgic thing that they did, because I mean they stopped doing that in like the 70s and 80s, late 70s.
I just thought it was a very odd. I just thought it was.
I'm sorry, it's just a super indie movie, so I mean they're gonna just be taking it back, and they have to use all the old school tricks because that's pretty much what they sort of teach in these film schools, and this thing was done on a dime. So
it had its place. One of the things you notice with a lot of people who start out is they use all these like transitions, and generally there's no transitions in things besides maybe a hard cut or a slow fade or stuff like that. This movie, the transition I thought between the Zumba was actually fairly well done. They were in thought, then you had to zoom up on the thought, then it zoomed back. I thought that was actually really well done.
Yeah, and it wasn't overdone either. It didn't come across as, hey, look at how fancy we could be and stuff. I mean, the whole idea of the cinematography, I think, was just, kind of sort of do it as simply as you can. The guy that did the cinematography, I can't think of his name, but he ended up being John Malkovich also, which is sort of same kind of feeling, but, I mean, a wildly different style, and, I mean, kind of shows what he can do with a lot of money.
Did either of you guys find out how much this movie cost to make?
You know what? I was actually sort of in the process of looking that up before we started this, but no, I didn't come across it yet.
Because that was one of the things I was really wondering about, is off the top of my head, because this was made in '98.
Yeah,
right.
Which after I found that out, I was actually quite surprised. Just the feel of the movie, it actually seems to keep up, at least with modern cinematography. I think so.
Well, okay, moving on from the cinematography, I think that there were a couple things that I didn't. I mean, his parents made everybody else's family basically look normal.
$1.5 million.
1.5. Wait, that's how much they spent on this movie?
Completely to make and distributed by the independent. Independently. Yeah, $1.5 million.
Okay, I'm actually shocked on that one. That's a lot higher than I thought.
Me too. The parents were a little bit. I mean, the dad was obviously a creeper.
Oh, totally.
Obviously a creeper, and the mom was just a psychopath. A
little trivia for you guys out there: if you haven't seen the dad before, he's in a Patrick Swayze movie called Roadhouse. Is the only other time
Roadhouse, man.
This is one of John's favorite movies.
Well, I like the movie, but it's literally the first time I've seen this guy in anything other than that.
God, somebody's got to do.
And the other thing,
you have to defend that movie as a good movie.
The other thing about this movie is this guy is gay. I don't care. This guy, Vincent Gallo, his character that he played in this movie, is gay. Like, majorly reverse bowel movement gay. I mean, if you have that many chances to sleep with Christina Ricci and you're single and you just get out of prison and you don't jump her bones, you actually yell at her to get off of you, there is something wrong.
Maybe he doesn't like cute chicks with giant eyeballs.
Maybe some shit happened to him in prison.
Well, I mean, the only thing that I could think of is the fact that, I mean, even though Christina Ricci just turned 18 when this movie was made, she looked like she was 12. Totally. I mean, that's the only other thing.
Sort of. She acted like she was 12.
I mean, but the dad jumps all over her.
Oh, yeah, because the dad's a complete pervert. He's like the guy from Natural Born Killers. Another callback to that.
Yeah, well, okay, fine.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, the guy was totally gay. He just didn't want to admit it, and then he finally decides to tell his friend. I can't remember his friend's name, but he's also turned into a well-known actor.
I don't know if I'd say well
I mean, in kind of the indie,
indie movie. Yes, he was. The two movies I can say off the top of my head was a movie called Bandwagon, not The Bandwagon, Bandwagon.
Yeah.
And the movie Slums of Beverly Hills. The two movies I've seen him in. He's been in a couple other ones that I can't place.
But he's mostly in like the indie or underground or I can't think of the other name. Style movies. He gets out. He gets out there. But yeah, he calls his buddy, and he's basically like, "Oh yeah, now all of a sudden I find this chick, I'm gonna like actually go and have a relationship with her."
That was the whole premise of the movie. I thought was weird. Basically, this guy comes out and basically wants to, spoiler alert, by the way, to kill the guy who's was the reason why he's allegedly in jail.
Well, I mean, let's just say it how it is. He was the stupidest, on the TV show World's Stupidest Criminals, he'd at least be in the show. But as far as just, he bets $10,000 on a game, loses the bet on a kick, and then can't pay the bookie.
Exactly.
So, it's just
he was
an insane thing. But, and then I think he was blaming the kicker the whole time.
Yeah, I mean that's
stupid. Basically the whole thing of the first Ace Ventura is the kicker's fault.
Laces out.
I know. Yeah, laces out. Now, John brought up something that was probably the coolest scene in the whole movie was when he had his little fantasy of killing the guy and killing himself.
That was actually really well done.
That really was really well done.
That's probably the $1 million, and the rest of it was probably about $500,000.
I was going to say actually $1.2 million on that. The rest went to everything else.
But you got to distribute the damn thing.
Well, that had a very Matrix X feel to me. I don't remember when the Matrix came out, but that scene, the way everything paused,
right around the same time.
Because that to me had that feeling of kind of the bullet time kind of look to it. Not exactly, but to me it was close enough.
Yeah, it was really well done.
It was probably just, it wasn't shot from the multi-angle though. It was just the one shot, probably just 90 frames a second or something.
Well, I actually liked that. I'm according to James, the Matrix came out in '99, and one of the things I disliked about the bullet time is everybody, including video games, had to use it after it.
Right? Yeah. Well, it's just new. Everybody wants to play with their new toys.
And the reason why I like this one because it was a one angle, it was stopped, and it was very thought out, and it actually matched the plot and the point of everything.
Well, it just wasn't one angle. They actually went around the guy's head and showed the exit wound too.
Well, that's true.
So there was some really well skilled stuff, panning going on there.
But it fit. The benefit is it fit the plot. It fit it was a device that helped move the story. I think it worked really well.
As far as the plot and the storyline of this movie, it wasn't really in depth too much. It was kind of like just a few hours in this guy's life. Which I kind of think was pretty cool because, obviously, as you can see in his life, in his lifetime, when he was basically sitting at the table with his parents having all these reminiscent memories and his mom saying, "Oh, you like chocolate donuts," type of thing, and his dad basically like,
"I'm allergic to chocolate, Ma.
You didn't take care of your puppy. This is what happens when you don't take care of your puppy."
Man. This guy is just a complete mess. A psychologist could probably show this in a class and just go through piece by piece what is wrong with this dude.
I think the funniest thing
kind
is
of an interesting character study.
The so-called sane person, this entire movie, Christina Ricci, that character had issues too. So that was the funniest part.
She got what was it?
Stockholm syndrome.
No,
thank you.
It couldn't even be that.
Stockholm syndrome immediately. It took 4 seconds
be Stockholm
with the whole
syndrome.
shifter car thing. Is this a shifter car? It's one of my favorite scenes right there.
We got to span time.
We're
going to span time. We're going to span time right now.
Spanning time. Yeah. That's another classic. That's why this thing became such a cult hit. It made much more than $1.5 million, and that's really how you judge the success of a movie. Well, some of these movies are made for $140,000, but they're not marketed to everybody. They're the Tromos of the world.
Yeah.
Well, the thing
so you get a movie like this that happened to be made in a super indie way that made a lot more mainstream success than it probably should have.
Oh yeah,
like you said, it is kind of a dark movie, but it's sort of the bits of comedy and the relationship and that everybody gets through it.
I will say, I think the thing about with Christina Ricci's characters, it seemed like she had, off the top of my head, really attachment. Like, this guy kidnaps her out of her dance class, and she automatically just starts, loving the guy.
Yeah, and wanting to have sex with him.
Yeah,
just infatuated.
Yeah, very, instant, oh my God, it's a guy who likes me type
my
of
thing
of
about that is that, if you turned it around and went and did a movie based off of, Christina Ricci's character in this movie, I am sure that there's a whole nother story there of something where she was either abandoned or abused by men,
Isn't what that Black Snake Moan or whatever's about?
Well, that could be it.
I just want to know how the hell she ended up in that weird ballet class.
Yeah. And then
it was a tap class, wasn't it?
Well,
Tell me the story right up to that moment.
Yeah, I mean that whole tap scene where she's bowling.
Yeah,
that was a little awkward.
My
And it wasn't me, or was her legs?
Like,
like
I hope
thick.
you just joined that tap class because that wasn't.
Yikes!
No comment. I just. Wow.
I think he just traumatized John.
Wow.
No, it's one of the things that I got to say. Going back is his dad. His dad and his mom are just. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. We're having some really weird technical issues all of a sudden. Is just his mom and dad are very fascinating characters. His dad is a pervert, and his mom is nuts. She's a giant football fan or whatever that was.
Well, I thought it was kind of interesting because what they showed, that little like 30-second scene after Christina Ricci and Vincent Gallo leave, and all of a sudden they both go into separate rooms and close the doors.
Yeah.
I must have gone up. I must have missed that scene. I don't remember
because that's kind of a scene that really shows it. That I mean, they're only really there for the kid.
True.
Which is kind of one of those things that I guess was kind of in the background, downplayed part of the movie, just kind of showing a little background.
True.
I don't know.
I think it kind of it definitely emphasized that. I think towards the end of the movie, when it showed what he would have happened to him if he killed.
Oh yeah.
The guy, when it showed his parents by his grave and his mom's on her little AM/FM Walkman thing, going go, and the guy's like,
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, woman, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Let's go get something to eat.
Yeah,
We're done
And
here.
part of that, was just his again, misplaced anger for, just being pissed off at his parents. But I mean, definitely seeing his parents, you sort of get an idea of why this guy's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
totally.
Of course.
The guy's some of the times he's really nice to the Christina Ricci's character. The other times the dude's just a schmuck, and she should have, like when
ran.
but like when he was taking a leak and he got out of the car, she didn't. She just kind of stared at him. And he's like, "Don't look."
Yeah, and then what's the scene with the hot
scene.
chocolate? No, hold on, I wasn't getting there yet. There was the bowling scene where he was like, "All right, you can just stay here if you want. I'm leaving," and she talks him out of leaving. Denny's, she could have ran in Denny's, and she stayed there waiting for her freaking hot chocolate. And then at the hotel, when he took off again, she sat there waiting for her hot chocolate type of thing. I mean, there was continuous times when she could have ran, which leads me to believe it wasn't really Stockholm Syndrome. She had more underlying abandonment issues.
I agree.
And that's what they were trying to portray it as. But it could have been the Stockholm that they were after. I don't know. I mean, I'm not Vincent Gallo. I don't really know.
I gotta say, the thing that really stuck out to me the most of the Denny's was his. It showed his chick he had a crush on. She was smoking, in a Denny's.
Yeah.
That to me, that most stuck out.
Why? Because they don't allow that in any real states anymore?
Yeah, pretty much.
It was Wisconsin too. I mean, they allowed smoking in Arizona and Denny's until probably just a couple of years ago.
I think you can still smoke in most restaurants in Nevada.
So I mean,
probably.
Yeah. So
I mean, you can smoke in the casino still.
So that was
that's a different story.
Yeah. So that was one of the things that just that really stood out. I mean, it has nothing to do with anything that her smoking doesn't, at least.
All right. Well, I was just gonna
It's odd to see in this day and age.
I was just gonna kind of wrap this up. I mean, this movie to me, I mean, I felt that the movie lasted longer than it should have. There was a very slow progression as well. I mean, it wasn't one of those movies that you sit down that you're just instantly grabbed on every scene. I mean, there's more scenes where, to me, that I was finding myself kind of zoning out on than actually paying attention to. For me, that made this movie seem. What is this movie? An hour and 45, hour and something like 40 minutes, somewhere around there. And it felt like it was longer than that, to be honest.
I think as we wrap up here before the movie news, watching it, I totally agree with James. I thought the pacing, scenes were too long. A day later, after seeing it, remembering it, I think it was good.
Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't good.
Reflecting on it, I thought the pacing was perfect. The way they did it. Well, a day after, I thought it was pretty good. But watching it, I was zoning out. Overall, on our scale, I have to give it a 3 out of 5 because I thought what they wanted to do, I think they did.
Okay.
Whether I disagree with parts or not, overall I think they did what they wanted to do. I think the thing though will be the miscue between how you see Christina Ricci's character or not. That's the one thing I wish they somehow had figured out to show what's wrong with her character, because every other character has a defining characteristic flaw. Her his dad's a jerk, his mom
perverted jerk.
Yeah, perverted jerk.
Yeah, really.
His mom focuses everything on football. Everybody in this movie has an issue that's defined. I just wish they did Christina's a little bit more so I could grasp on it.
Okay. Because you're kind of saying that she's the mystery character. Is that what you're going for?
I guess she's the one that doesn't seem as goofed up as everybody else.
Well, and not in the same way, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
But to wrap it up, also, I really was grabbed sort of from the first moment. I was in, basically, from that whole I've got to piss to the whole I'm kidnapping you until they got to his parents' house. It was like kind of a weird what's going on here, how is this little situation going to wrap up? And by the time I saw what was going on and why he did it, that's like, okay, I'm in to the end. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter what this movie turns out to be. This is going to be interesting.
So what's your rating for it?
My rating is gonna be actually a 3 out of 5 also, and for probably slightly different reasons, because I really like the comedy in it. I love the dark nature of everything. I really like the cinematography. I am holding out on the 4 and the 5 just to keep that group a little more exclusive, but I am saying that I like this movie. That it's still getting great. So.
Well, I can totally be a jerk here and go for the low number.
So what is it?
I'm thinking,
Go with your feelings.
2.
2? Okay. No, why?
My premise on this is, and I kind of touched on there a few things, and I think I want to give it a 3, but as far as if I was ever going to say that I would watch this movie again, now, you guys got to remember, I actually watched this movie right when it came out on VHS. And I remember only a couple scenes. I remember the bathroom scene. I remember them cuddling on the little bed type of thing. And I really find nothing in this movie to be that redeeming, to be honest. I don't really like his character. I get what they were doing. And on that fact, I will say that would be the only redeeming factor, is the fact that they accomplished what they were after. I didn't laugh at this movie. I didn't find anything in this movie funny. I didn't really...
You might be a minority in that, sir.
I didn't find anything in this movie funny. I didn't. The closest thing was him with the dog, and then he kills the dog, and I'm like, all right, you just lost me right there. I'd shoot you in the face.
Jesus.
What? He killed the dog right in front of the kid.
Snapped its neck.
Fucking hell. When did our sense of humor fucking get so far apart? I figured you would have actually dug this. Possibly more than John, because he's a professed, not a dark comedy fan, or even, I'm not a fan, but
I didn't find that funny,
to say the least.
If the kid came up and kicked him in the balls for it, then I'd be laughing.
Well, you even brought up the spanning time. Well, look, I want to say one thing more.
The spanning time.
I like movies that stick with you. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those movies that you watch and you might feel a certain way about it when you watch it, but like the next couple of days you're still thinking about it. It's still giving you questions and whatnot in your mind, and that still, holds a lot of water.
See, now I didn't lose any sleep over this movie. I didn't find it anything that really was captivating. I didn't find anything really captivating about it. I was more bored than not.
Fair enough.
There are some movies that really captivate me, and I'm going to get into those. I think next time I start picking movies, I'm going to be picking good ones. I'm not going to go back for any of these really lower class movies.
Let's see what you got, man.
I will. I'll show you what I got. But my big thing about this is now, maybe 10 years ago or a couple thousand movies ago, I would have enjoyed this movie. Just to be honest, I think my taste has finally changed and developed into something different than what it used to be. Like I said, maybe there was a couple things that I enjoyed about this movie a long time ago, but not anymore. I don't find it amusing anymore. It's kind of boring to me. I could have fallen asleep.
I it's a final thought here to defend Ryan a little bit. This is the same guy. This is the same guy, James, who laughed at the scene in Napoleon Dynamite where they shot the cow.
Hey, that was the only redeeming part in that movie.
I'm just saying.
Everything else in that movie was horrible.
Napoleon Dynamite. They shot a cow of Me, Myself, and Irene, and that whole movie was pretty decently funny.
Wait, did you just try to defend Me, Myself, and Irene?
Look, that movie didn't try to be anything else but a stupid-ass comedy, and it was.
Like Dumb and Dumber?
Oh, okay. Hey.
That doesn't even exist.
Hold it. If we want to have a discussion about, the Dumb and Dumber, Me, Myself, and Irene...
No, I didn't go Dumb and Dumber. I went Dumb and Dumber.
Okay, well, if you want to have a thing about those movies, we should pick them. I won't pick the Dumb and Dumber. I know better. It's kind of a different show. So I gave the movie a 3. James gave it a 2, and Ryan gave it a 3. And kind of a movie news. I just kind of was before we did the show. I kind of looked a little bit, and here's one that I thought was odd. There's a Jimi Hendrix biopic with Andre 3000.
Yep.
And according to just glancing at the article, it'll have no Hendrix music.
What?
Well, I don't think his family's too super happy about him being they're doing like this without his permission. So I don't think they're going to get any rights unless they can talk the family into it.
Well, I didn't even know about that.
Does his family own all the rights to his music?
Of course.
I think so. Or maybe his daughter. I don't know who in his family exactly, but I remember hearing something about like they're not exactly too thrilled about them doing a biopic and they're not involved.
Well, because my thought would be the studio, whoever he recorded, would actually own the rights to his music.
No, probably not. I mean, he probably owned his music and then it reverted to
he could have totally done like the Ray Charles.
He could have written it however he wanted. He owned his own recording studio at a certain point. So all this stuff, he probably owned.
True. And the next one is one that I'm excited about. The Peter Jackson wraps all filming on the Hobbit pictures. Which I'm assuming that's
going to be nice.
I'm assuming that's principal photography on at least the second one.
Sure.
I'm assuming the second one they still have work. I'm assuming the first one they still have stuff.
Mostly done.
But I'm looking forward to it. I love the Lord of the Rings movies. I disagree with certain parts of it, but I'm excited. Any opinions?
I'm just kind of curious about how long is the extended version of this movie going to be?
Yeah,
well, that's part of my thing. Is it's going to be 2 movies. In 2 movies, you can almost do the book.
And
verbatim.
How large is the box set going to be?
Oh, no joke. Are they going to do a box set of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings,
I
see the ultimate set, the ultimate mega super brilliant Lord of the Rings Middle Earth size set.
Well, what I'm waiting for is to be able to open the book and be able to go chapter 2, verse 3, line 6, and you have right there, because in two movies, 3 hours long, you're literally going to be able to do the whole book.
I wonder if he's going to go for broke and bust in and try to pull off the Silmarillion as well.
Well, this is kind of
no. There's no way to do that as a film.
Yeah, you could.
That'd be insane.
I mean, you would have to take a lot of rights to do it.
Well, here's
and mix it all together and kind of throw in your own little stuff.
Here's what I've heard, and here's what I've guessed. Is I've heard that Legolas, Orlando Bloom, and the guy who played Aragorn, don't remember. I've heard somehow they're involved. So I'm assuming that I'm assuming what they do is they show Sauron before he went back to the Black Land, when he was the necromancer.
Okay.
I'm assuming somehow that ties in, because if you read the book, it's mentioned loosely, but it's not actually shown.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Is he going to really take some rights with this one and throw in some additional storyline?
Yeah, that's in the Silmarillion. The Silmarillion, isn't it, when it talks about that? I've never read it, but this is a guess.
Oh, it's been like 10 years since I read that book.
So I'm assuming that's what he does.
No, longer than that, 12 years.
I think you own it, don't you?
Yeah, I do. But it's not one that I read a lot of and sit there and study.
Well, it's like the A+ certification manual of Lord of the Rings.
I don't need to be able to speak any of the Middle Earth languages.
And put in your fake glowing sword.
Well, I forgot all the languages now. I used to not be fluent in any of them.
He switched to Klingon instead. And the other one that I honestly...
I could just spit all over the mic and pretend I speak it.
Or German.
Or Jewish.
Sorry. The other one that I honestly don't care at, but I wanted to see what you guys thought, is Naomi Watts is playing Princess Diana.
Wait, the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Huh. just a straight biopic is.
That's what it seems that I've heard. I mean, I didn't read too much about it because was never something that interested me. I've heard, however, it ends tragically in a car crash.
No way. Did the driver do it?
No, it was that's the only thing I've heard, honestly.
Was that your spoiler?
That might be the only thing anybody has heard on it so far.
I don't believe it. I shocked Ryan with that joke. Wow, hold on one second, ladies and gentlemen. We're having...
It was just... I mean, just... How... What easy did you set up your own joke? That was insane.
Thank you.
It was funny. I laughed.
Somebody had to.
Yeah, so those are the three. The other one, just kind of like I did the last time I was up for my run of movie news, is looks like they're actually going to do the RoboCop movie, the remake, which I'm somewhat looking forward to. They actually,
really?
They actually have an OCP website up. I'm looking forward to their version of it. I'm probably the rare exception because I actually liked the very first RoboCop movie. I thought it was clever for being the 80s.
I mean, do they just now have the technology they can build him better and better?
Points for those times.
Well, the thing that I'm really wondering is how they're going to do the RoboCop, because Peter Sellers, I believe, did the original one, and he did like the lock-in thing. You know, he'd move a little lock-in. You know, just like the whole robot thing. So I'm wondering if they're going to do it like that. Is he going to walk normal? Are they going to have the face mask? The whole, that part I'm actually.
Is it going to be CGI?
Oh, it's going to be CGI.
Yeah, it's got to be. They're gonna bust it out.
Oh, totally. And if you find, I don't remember what I found it, but they actually do have an OCP website. So I'm looking forward to it just to see how bad they do it, and I want to see the guy who says I'll buy that for $1. Pretty much it.
Yeah. Oh, please, God bless them if they put that in there.
And the commercials. One of the things I loved about that was the over-the-top commercials.
Right. Yeah. I think that's one of the things that people loved about the '80s. Over the top commercial.
But I'm wondering if it's gonna. I mean, they could totally get away with the "I'll buy that for $1" guy being Tom Arnold.
Even I don't want to see that because that's just creepy. I'm
sorry. It could be him, dude. The guy was creepy.
Tom Arnold.
That would be Tom Arnold.
That's creepy, dude.
Yeah, I'm totally in on that.
Yeah,
that's a good casting choice.
Yeah. What?
Wow.
It is. Look at the guy who did "I'll buy that for $1." Then look at Tom Arnold. It's not that big of a leap.
Especially look at Tom Arnold now.
Yeah.
I think they should do Arnold Schwarzenegger if you want a really creepy guy.
Oh, jeez. I'll buy that for $1.
Exactly.
God.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my sincere apology about some of the technical issues we've been having during this recording. But for Jonathan Charney, James Stevens.
Next week.
Oh, thank you, as I did again. Next week, we'll be doing a movie that we all three want to pick. We wanted to see. It's in the theaters. It's Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. This is by the same person. I don't remember his name, but the other book this person wrote is it was off the top of my head. It's something and Zombies. Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. This is with the same person. I wrote Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. Also wrote Vampire Slayer, and this is one that I first saw it. I thought it was going to look stupid. Seeing the trailers, I want to see it more. You two have any opinion?
I just want to see it. From how badly I've heard people, not critics, but just people like that I know trying to bash this movie, say it's the fall of our generation's moral standards of movies. I want to see it just because these people are getting all upset about it, and I don't really care. I think it's just going to be a funny kind of slasher movie, and I mean, do some research and don't just bash it without seeing it.
I want to add something. If you really say that Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer is the downfall of movies in modern civilization, did any of you guys see Skyline
or Twilight?
Oh yeah, Skyline. I second that.
What was the other one that came out right before Skyline? What was it? It was that stupid kind of Blair Witch thing with that was the Blair Witch style with the handy cam where they were fighting the zombies.
Oh no! I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember what it's called.
Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of that movie.
Oh, was that the one that you thought was the people have been thinking it was the new Goonies?
No.
Okay, that's Super 8.
Okay.
Ryan knows exactly what movie he's talking about.
So yeah, just
anyway,
the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So next week is Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer, and after that it's my pick, and you'll just have to see what I pick, and James will probably wait with bated breath. Hopefully turn blue. So for Jonathan Charney, James Stevens, and Ryan the Black Glove Preston, see you next week.